Today, I'm very honored to be invited as a keynote speaker of Data for Policy 2022. And my name is Noboru Koshizuka, professor of the University of Tokyo, and also a chair of Data Society Alliance. And today, title of my talk is a data-driven society toward the democratization of innovation. And this show my short biography. I'm Noboru Koshizuka. I'm working as a professor at the University of Tokyo. My specialty is the research of computer science, especially operating system, computer networks, interactive systems. And recently, my research topic is IoT, Internet of Things, smart city, and data-related platform system. So, and in these several years, I'm working on building a new data sharing platform, which name is Data EX. In this talk, I will mention about the Data EX later. And part one of my talk is about the era of data. Today, I would like to say now is the era of data. The Japan government proposes Society 5.0 as a vision of future data-lized society. 1.0 is the hunting and gathering world, and 2.0 is the agriculture world. The 3.0 is the industrial world. And the 4.0 is information society, and the Society 5.0 is a new society of the future. And so what is the Society 5.0? And in Society 5.0, Japan is proposing cyber physical world. Cyber world is a world developed on digital platforms like internet and the metaverse. And the physical world is our physical real world. In Society 5.0, both are connected with each other, and this will improve our quality of daily life. And from the standpoint of view of digital technology, I think now is the era of data. For example, since about 2000, it has been the era of the internet and the mega platformers like Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, or Microsoft, Alibaba, Baidu, Tencent, and so on. But in these several years, we are stepping into a new era of data. Internationally, there are many projects developing new data distribution or data sharing platforms. The right side of this slide shows some logo of some example of data platforms. In ICT industry, the most competitive area is now data. So data sharing, data distribution, data exchange platform are very hot topic now. So now is the era of data. So there are many data-driven innovation in Japan and also in the world. This slide shows some example of data-driven innovation in industry. For example, Comtrax, this is a remote operation and a remote monitoring example. And smart agriculture, this is also data-driven agriculture, IoT, smart greenhouse, and so on and so on. And automatic equipment monitoring in factory and plants. And in this next slide, Amazon Go rubbish collection, welfare application, and emergency medical application, business optimization, smart maintenance of infrastructure, healthcare, logistics, smart building, smart house, tourism, transportation, assistive technology. So there are so many innovations using data. So data-driven innovation. So next issue is data platform and data spaces. There are so many good data-driven innovation. Then many people think that data is so important that data should be enclosed in the company. So data is enclosed like silos of data. This slide shows there are 4 data silos, and there is no data sharing, no data exchange beyond the companies. But for more efficient and effective usage of data, we want to disclose the data. So we will have a data platform for sharing and exchanging data. So in Japan, there are already many data platforms for each industry domains, 4-inch domains. This shows a chaos map of domain-specific data sharing platform. This slide shows the logo of some data platform in Japan, for example, data platform for national government open data, DataGoJP, local government open data, VLED, personal data platform, information bank platform, data of public transportation, manufacturing, academia, geography. There are so many data sharing platforms already in Japan. So I would like to mention one example of open data in Japan. Data.go.jp, DataGoJP. This is a open data catalog of national government of Japan. This was started about 10 years ago. The number of data sets was at that time 10 years ago. The number of data sets was about 10,000. But today, this is increased progress, and DataGoJP is issuing about 23,000 data sets. And this shows the number of local governments engaged in open data in Japan. Today, 1,270 local governments in 1,788 are already publishing open data. So this is about 71%. So many local governments are publishing now open data. But we have already had so many data platforms. Then so we are facing a new problem. In Japan, there are so many data platforms. So how can we search a data set from these so many data platforms, more than 1,000 data catalogs? How can we get the data set from these data platforms? This is a new problem. So we would like to integrate, or we would like to federate these data platforms. Such kind of large data platform, we call this Japan Open Data Space, integrating more than 1,000 data platforms. This shows an example of federated data catalog systems. This was developed by NII in Japan. Already at this point, about 160,000 open data sets are collected from more than 400 local government open data catalog and more than 700 academic database. This is available already for the public, and this is one of the largest data catalog in Japan already. And this kind of loosely coupled, distributed and federated data platform is called as Dataspace. This concept was firstly proposed by academic papers by Google researchers, but today Dataspace becomes the mainstream of European large-scale data platform. The Dataspace is a loosely integrated data platform for ICT system and also data-driven business. And this is featured by several points: the distributed multi-stakeholders, data sovereignty for each stakeholders, trust of user and data, flexible access control, and standardized API and data format. In Dataspace, we do not collect data into one centralized database. The data will be managed by each data holders locally and in a distributed manner. But using federation technology, a user can access data as a single unified platform virtually. In Europe, development of Dataspace has already begun in various industrial fields, such as agriculture, manufacturing, energy, and mobility. And also in Japan, METI and the digital agency have begun working on the Japan version of Dataspace. Next, I'd like to talk about Data EX, a nation-level cross-industry data exchange platform. The goal of Data EX is the Japan Data Space. It is a national-level cross-industry data exchange platform. This is the infrastructure of data-driven society. Data EX is a social deployment project of Japan Data Space, and DSA, Data Society Alliance. This is an organization driving the development of Data EX. This slide shows a web page of our DataEX project. The vision of DataEX and the Data Society Alliance is to realize a world of data-driven innovation. The goal of DataEX is the Japan data space. This slide shows the concept of the Japan data space. And in Japan, as presented before, there are many domain-specific data platforms. So our mission is to federate these multiple data platforms within specific field. In DataEX, the most important technology is connector-based federation technology. This slide shows in the left side, for example, your own data platform. This may be domain-specific local data platform, and this may deal with local API and local data format. But on the other hand, on the right side, the cross-domain global data space like our DataEX, in this platform, standard APIs and standard data format are used. So connector component will connect both of them. It stands between local data platform and global DataEX. This is a tiny software module like a wrapper module. And it translates local API into standard API into local API, and also local data format into standard data format, and on the contrary, the standard data format into local data formats. Such kind of function this connector is provide. This slide shows the detail of the connector-based data space architecture. In this DataEX, data in the data distribution package format is input in this data space. So there are many data in the standard format in this data space. This slide shows an example of data transfer transaction of data X. From user B to user A, data X is transferred. In this slide, user B put their data X into this data space, and user B can set up access control based on authorization mechanism. And another user, user A, make a request to get data X. Then the data space authenticates the user A. On the basis of this authentication, access control list mechanism allow or deny the access by this user A to data X. When user A is allowed to access to the data X, this request is operated and data X will be transferred to user A. Then this transaction is success, and this transaction is recorded to the transaction record database in history management function. And in DataEX, there are many other components like ID provider and the resource discovery component, history management component, authentication and authorization function, and domain vocabulary registry component, and so on and so on. And we are planning a DataEX ecosystem in our data space. All the main specific local data platforms are connected to DataEX data space via connectors. DataEX data space also connects many smart cities and many other applications, many other specific data platforms. Also, we are planning to connect DataEX data space into several European data space, such as GaiaX and IDSA and Fireware. And this shows a structure of our Data Society Alliance, DSA in short. I am a chairman of this organization, and Mr. Okui-san and Mr. Mano-san are responsible for the management of DSA. And we have about 200 members, companies and local government, and also individuals. And all of these members are collaborating with each other, and now we are aiming to establish DataEX in the near future. Next year, 2023, is a very important year because we will launch this DataEX in this next year, 2023. The next, I would like to talk our vision, and I would like to discuss our vision on democratization of innovation. This is a definition of innovation. There are many definitions of innovation, but in this talk, innovation is a new and changed entity realizing or redistributing values. This definition is derived from IOC standard. I think this is a very normal one, very normal specification. And this shows an example of recent well-known innovations, very big innovations. For example, the vaccine of COVID-19, a self-driving car, generative AI, smart city. All of these innovations are all data-driven. If we do not have big data, we cannot make this kind of innovation. So in data-driven society, data access is one of the most important necessary condition for innovation. And the most important social problem of this point is only small number of very special people can access big data. This is a very important problem. And the only way to create innovation is many trials. If we make many trials, many fails, then we can get innovation. So this is because we cannot know how we get innovation. If we know how to get this innovation or how to get this success, this is not an innovation. Rather, this is a very simple improvement. So for innovation, the most important point is we cannot know how we get innovation. We do not know how is very important point. So next question is, how can we help or promote innovation? And the typical answer is decreasing the cost of trials. If we can decrease the cost of trial, we can make many trials. So this decreasing the cost of trial very important. And also, this is the only way to help innovation. So in data-driven society, decreasing the data access cost is a key issue for innovation. So data infrastructure for data access support is the most important infrastructure. So we, for example, DSA and Data EX, we would like to realize democratization of innovation by providing such data infrastructure. This means not only big companies, not only rich people, not only government, but anyone can use data. Then anyone can get innovation. This is a very important point, I think. And last vision I would like to discuss is autonomous decentralized society. In society 5.0 or data-driven society in Japan, we are aiming to autonomous decentralized society, not a centralized command and control society. In such autonomous decentralized society, individuals share data on the earth and of society and acts on their own initiative by analyzing, judging, and self-determining their activities. In such society, mutual cooperation, dialogue, and solidarity are very important and necessary towards the realization of social values. For such society, data sharing platform is the most basic function. This is because we do not have data. We cannot make correct judgment and decision. So from the standpoint of view of democracy, a data platform is a very important function. So finally, this is a summary of my talk. Now is the era of data, data-driven society. And data platform is a basic infrastructure in the data-driven society. And this data platform will realize democracy of innovation And the data platform is the basis of autonomous distributed society. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Koshizuka. So we have time available for asking questions and also some discussions or some of the issues you mentioned. Maybe, yeah, from the beginning, I'd like to ask you some questions about your talk. I think this idea of the democratization of innovation and also the autonomous decentralized society, these are very interesting and also in a way very stimulating ideas. I think there are many challenges in implementing these ideas, and I just would like to ask you, what are the key challenges we need to address in implementing these ideas?
Yeah, thank you very much. And I think the first point is democracy of innovation. I think this is the key point of this democracy of innovation. I think that, yeah, data platform, everyone can access data. So how to assure this condition is very, very important. So the open data activity, but now the open data is very, very limited only to the public social data. But for the innovation, we need much other kind of data. So how to share for many people, this is very important condition and the important point for the democracy of innovation. And but to implement such the large scale data platform, it is very hard to really implement the large data space. For example, we are now developing and building the Data EX Japan nation level data platform for federated type. But in reality, the most of data is all distributed for each company or each association, all the side of data. So how to connect, how to federate the technically and also socially, so such kind of activity is very important. So how to break the side of data, this activity is very important for the democracy of innovation in that data-driven society. And the second point, the autonomous decentralized society. I think Japan is the most decentralized society, most less command and control society. But in this case, yeah, data is very important for the autonomous because everyone must get data and analyze data and make judgment and some decision, and everyone do such kind of things. And this is the autonomous point. But autonomous society is, I think, the decision is so slow and decision is so gradual. But in normal situation, autonomous is and this distributed society seems very good. But for example, now is the age of the COVID-19. That's a very, very emergency time. So how to react to the emergency, or so COVID-19 and warfare is a very, very emergency. So how can we react to such kind of emergency in the autonomous decentralized society is very important point. But in case of Japan, the reaction for the COVID-19 is very autonomous and decentralized. But the government do not have so good leadership. So but very we are dealing with COVID-19 very good, as I think. So in case of autonomous distributed society, the data sharing is one important point, but another point is how to react to the emergency in this kind of society is another problem, I think. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Then perhaps I'd like to invite questions from the audience. Yes. Sorry, microphone.
Thank you, Professor Koshizuka, for your talk today. So when you were introducing the Dataspace initiative, you said that similar initiatives exist in other countries, such as the EU, for example. So my question is, I know that Japan has several frameworks for data sharing with the European Union. So are there any vision about trying to integrate those kind of platforms on the international level? Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. So yeah, we and I think Japan and Europe is approach is very similar. The federation approach and the data space, the concept of data space is shared by Europe and also in Japan. So now our organization DSA has already have a connection with GaiaX and IDSA and FileWare. So our system integrating the FileWare platform, and also we have an experiment to connect our DataEX platform and IDSA International Data Space Association platform already have experiment, but in the future, I think this kind of data space will occur. Also, yeah, already in Europe and Japan, and also in China and India and the United States. Now, Japan and the EU is one-to-one connection, and if many countries have started to establish such kind of data space, I think we need an international organization or in the international framework for the data space for the world, global framework. I think that's the United States, China, Europe, India, and other Asian countries, African countries. So, and the standard API, and the standard data format, and the standard framework of access control, authorization, authentication. Such kind of the framework will be necessary in the future.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
So thank you for your presentation, Professor. So I have two questions as a follow-up to your explanation. The first question relates to the concept of cybersecurity, especially in what you describe as a federated data environment. I think the discussion on cybersecurity has not been elaborated so far. Maybe you could explain about the concept of cybersecurity, how to preserve data privacy, how to protect the data in case of let's say attacks by unscrupulous actors. And then the second question that I have is about the idea of what you describe as the silos of data across different corporations. One thing I'm wondering is whether companies in general are willing to pool their data and create a platform, because there are certainly concerns about protection of trade secrets. Certain data could be considered as sensitive, that could be considered only proprietary for the corporate interests. So I'm wondering, where is the boundary between allowing the data to be shared and also protecting sensitive data that could pertain to the company's trade secrets? Thank you, Professor.
Yeah, thank you very much. The first question is about cybersecurity. I think that cybersecurity is very, very important, and but this cybersecurity problem is a common for all application in digital technology or networking system. So I think this kind of data sharing platform or data federation platform problem, and cybersecurity problem is another problem. So we would like to discuss the different discussion. But very difficult point in the data layer is the privacy issue. The culture and the regulation is all different from country to country. This is a very important. I think that the concept of the privacy and the culture, I think the European culture and the Japan culture, I think the China and the United States are all different. So how to integrate or how not to integrate, how to federate the different concept of the privacy, and also for security. That I think that technically the problem, the technical problem is very important, but the technical problem is so common. But in case of data, the social problem is also social problem is necessary. So the privacy, the regulation issue and security regulation issue all different for country to country. So, but we would like to federate the country to country, globally. So this is, I think, the very important point. And the second point is the size of data for company. The company have many top secret, very secure information. But our concept of data sharing, data sharing does not mean open. So the point-to-point data transaction is also data sharing in security or in keeping privacy or secret. But on the basis of authorization, on the basis of authentication, the company to company, we would like to transfer data so securely. Such kind of infrastructure is very important in this data sharing platform. So sharing means also including the open data, but also the how to securely exchange the secret, top secret data, the point-to-point, company to company. Such kind of infrastructure we would like to provide. So our infrastructure, Data EX, have a data market. So the data market deal with secure data and selling and buying company to company. Such kind of infrastructure is also necessary for this data infrastructure. So the data space does means not only open data but also data market. I think data market is very active in I think the China. I think the China is the pioneer of the data market, and Japan is so. I think that our platform, our idea, including such kind of top secret, not a top secret, but not open data company to company. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions or reactions? Yes, please.
Okay, thank you, Professor, for your interesting talk. Yeah, my question is just very simple because you mentioned innovation requires a lot of trials, and many trials means a lot of cost. So in your opinion, what is the best way to lower the cost of all those trials in order to achieve an innovation? Thank you, Professor.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your question. I think for the trial of innovation, there are many kinds of costs, I think. But the cost of the data access is one of them, only one of them. But in recently, the many kinds of innovation is depending on data and big data. For example, the vaccine of COVID-19. This is very data-driven development, and of course, artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, that needs this is a very data-hungry application, and so data is necessary for the recent AI. So my opinion, my discussion is in data-driven society, the cost of data, and also the cost of computer, the processing power is also very important. But the how to access data, such kind of data cost is very important for the innovation in data-driven society. If we are not the data-driven society, data is not so important. But in the near future, I think data is most important issue. So data, how to decrease the data cost for everyone is very important for the everyone innovation. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Any further comments or questions?
Hello, can I ask a question online?
Sure, yes.
Yeah, this question is not related to social development. I would like to ask about the Web 3. As you know that I want to know, do professors think that the Japanese government is currently now is focusing on the development of the Web 3? So this Web 3 technology can make Japan shine again. Do you think so?
Oh, it's a very interesting question, but a difficult question. The Web 3, I think it's a very important for my final the discussion, the autonomous decentralized society. The Web 3 is aiming the decentralized the society, blockchain or DID, and I don't know why the metaverse is also one of the Web 3 technology, but basically the Web 3 is autonomous, the decentralized technology. So it's very good, but I think it's a little bit now the very near to the research, but not to the industry. I think it's a little bit far from the real implementation. So I think it takes more 5 or 10 years. I think the Web 3 is really implemented in our industry, I think. So after 5 years, 10 years, yeah, Japan may shine again using Web 3, but it's the 5 or 10 years later, I think. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, there's a question from Zainab. I think now she's in London. So one question, do you think if the current data monopoly of the Western big companies can be challenged or balanced in any way by coordinated actions such as open data space?
Or balance. Yeah. I think so. But yeah, my recognition, for example, the monopolization of data, I think in the world, I think there are much more data in the world. I think especially physical data in the, for example, cyber physical world. But the large global platforms are collecting the data from the cyber area, I think. But in real society or in our planet, there are more and more data. And I think, for example, I think that GAFA or such kind of global mega platformer owning about 1 or 2%, only 1 or 2% of the real data, I think. This is my impression. But if we have 1 or 2% of data, this is a very big platform. But other 99% or 98% of data is all distributed and all silo data. And each small company or individuals and small organization are owning. So the most important problem, I think not the global platformer, but the small, how to break the small silo and how to integrate such kind of small silo is, I think, very important. And also the open data activity is very good for balancing I think for the monopolization of that kind of big company. I think so. And also, but all the many data is not open and free about so how to buy, how to sell. So the data market is very, very important. Not the open data, but the how to implement the data market is also a very important problem for breaking the monopolization.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we still have some time available for questions or comments, feedback. Okay, so yeah, this is a conference, particularly now where we are organizing this conference in Asia Pacific. So I'd like to ask you what we can do to facilitate data sharing, exchange, cross-border, let's say in Asia, where there are many different kinds of political, socio-economic institutions. And then there are now many concerns about this security issue and also some tensions internationally. So how we can facilitate cooperation in sharing data, exchange data, at the same time addressing all the concerns about privacy and security in Asia?
Yeah, thank you very much. I have 2 points. The first one is the framework of Asia. Framework of Asia is very, very, I think, it's important. For example, in Asia, for example, Japan, Korea, Taiwan, China is and also Singapore are very active for the digital technology and the digital infrastructure. But we tend to collaborate with Europe and the United States. But I think the framework of Asia is very important. For example, the Europe are a very good framework of EU, the United of European countries, and also we need an Asian framework is very important. So the firstly, we should deal with for example with Japan data space. Then next to Asian data space is I think very important. So the framework of Asia. And second point is open data is very important in the first step because now is unfortunately this is not the age of globalization, but now the age of the decoupling, the very, very difficult and so very difficult situation now. So in this difficult situation, open is very good for the activity. So for example, the top secret data or the very difficult data, the personal data is very, very difficult. So from the first steps, the open data, the collaboration dealing with the open data is very good as a first step for the data space. So my belief that we would like to start the collaboration of Asian open data space is, I think, very important for the first step. Thank you.
Thank you. So just asking that point further, is there any already initiative to start creating such an open space in Asia?
Yes. We have the last month. We have a conference of the Asian Open Data Partnerships, Asia Open Data Summit, and now about 10 years we have a framework of Asia Open Data Partnership. I think about 11 or 12 Asian countries are joining in this partnership. And I think the 5 years ago or 4 years ago, I think in Tokyo, our University of Tokyo are hosting such kind of summit, and this year they're hosted by Malaysia, and many countries are hosting year by year. So we have a Asian open data partnership. I think this is an example for such kind of organization for dealing with the open data space in Asia.
Okay, thank you very much. I think now the time is up. So thank you very much, Professor Koshizuka, for very excellent and stimulating talk. And I think there are many issues we can discuss further during and after this conference. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. And thank you very much, Yarime Sensei. ありがとうございます。Thank you very much.
Thank you.